Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I'm thrilled to be joined by my returning guest, Dr. Fred Jacobs, the Executive Vice President of St. George's University. Dr. Jacobs, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So you have been serving as the chair of the Department of Medicine, as I mentioned, at St. George's University. And I know you've been making the case that foreign-trained doctors are outperforming U.S. graduates. Dr. Jacobs, tell us why.
Well, they are in some studies. The one that we're referring to today is the study done by Harvard Medical School, which looked at Medicare hospital discharges over 30 days, and they looked at thousands of doctors and millions of patients. It was a huge study, and it showed a statistically significant improvement in 30-day mortality for those patients treated by foreign-trained doctors. Now, I'm really not making the point that foreign-trained doctors are better than U.S. doctors. The point I'm making is that foreign-trained doctors are not worse. The study shows that there was some advantage to going to a foreign-trained doctor. It was a small advantage. It was statistically significant. But the reputation, or what you hear in some quarters, is that foreign-trained doctors are substandard, and the data simply does not support that.
Tell us a little bit about any of the differences, if there are any, between the training that's taking place. We're using that term foreign-trained doctors, but let's talk specifically about St. George's University. What differences are there as opposed to similar schools and colleges domestic in the United States?
Yeah, thanks. There really aren't any differences. The requirements for the 4-year degree leading to doctor of medicine are basically an American model. 2 years of preclinical work, which is done mainly in Grenada, one campus in the United Kingdom. And then all the clinical work is done at either large number of affiliated hospitals in the United States, to a lesser extent, but a significant extent, in England as well. And those clinical rotations and the requirements that are placed upon these students, that is by the requirement to pass all the same exams that the U.S. students pass. These are called the United States Medical Licensing Exam. And you must pass all the parts of that exam required by the Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but that means that you are taking the same tests and held to the same standards as U.S. graduates are, because you have essentially the same curriculum. And that curriculum is approved by the states where we have clinical affiliates, like New York, New Jersey, California, Florida, Georgia, just to name a few. Those states and their departments of education have looked at the curriculum, looked at the programs, and approved them for clinical work because they meet the standards that are required by the states for individuals going through a medical degree program.
And Dr. Jacobs, you've talked a lot about the training, the curriculum. Let's talk about the clinicians and the faculty. I know one of your top priorities during your time as the chair of the Department of Medicine and the Executive Vice President of St. George's University has been dedicated to the recruitment of top-tier clinicians from around the world. Tell us a little bit about how that has gone and what you look for for the experience to be comparable or even better than many competing schools in the United States.
Right. The individual doctors who teach our students at the clinical facilities, which means the hospitals by and large, are attending physicians or full-time faculty at those hospitals. It varies from hospital to hospital. Those are the same faculty, by the way, who teach the U.S. students who are being trained at the exact same hospitals. So in many cases, we have students that are completely commingled with American medical students from a neighboring medical school. So the faculty are basically the same. These are board-certified doctors who've had a long experience in teaching. And the proof of the pudding is that the students do well. They do well on the exams I mentioned before. And the larger proof is that this past year, starting in July of 2017, our graduates who applied for residency positions the first year of training after graduation from medical school. We placed 905 individuals in first-year residency positions throughout the United States. Now, those positions those students are accepted by individual program directors in the specialties, medicine, pediatrics, surgery, et cetera, and they're competing for those spots with everybody else. So 905 positions is by a very large multiple more than any other medical school in the world has placed successfully in United States residency programs. That's a fact that really shows the level to which program directors themselves, that is, training program, residency program directors, accept the quality of the St. George's education and the St. George's graduates, because their objective in accepting somebody into their residency is for somebody they can trust to care for their patients, who will bring credit to their program and their institution, and who will eventually pass the specialty board exams, because that's a very important factor for program directors.
Well, Dr. Jacobs, that's all we have time for today. We appreciate you coming back on the air to talk a little bit about the experience at St. George's, as well as just foreign trained medical students. We'll have you back in the future. Thanks so much for joining us.